Hey everyone, I'm Tsunami, welcome and welcome back. This piece of paper is the first piece of Arrtx paper I ever had in my hands. A friend gave me this one to try it out. It's the Arrtx hot pressed and I'm so curious if it's as good as everybody says about it. A day before I sketched a few creatures. First I tried something new, I wanted to develop my style. I tried a new vibe of creature. I didn't like it, so then I made it a bit more my style and I think it's quite nice. And then I made this one. I like it, but then this little guy here I liked a lot, and then I sketched the neck a bit longer and yeah, we are back in my creature hood. I also wanted to invest more time again in a piece of art, so I made little thumbnails to define my idea more. In the last weeks, I always wanted to use clover for an artwork. I sketched several ideas in the sketchbook, also for lino prints, by the way, and then it was time to prepare my paper here. Oh, and the Arrtx Sketchbook, which I used here, had a difficult start to be my all-day sketchbook, but in the last days I kind of got warm with it. The next step would be to stick a pencil holder on the side. Then with this gesture, it would be full accepted officially. For everyone who don't know what I'm talking about, my sketchbook struggle and what happened before, I made a video about choosing the perfect sketchbook for me. I will link it for you. Perhaps you will enjoy it. Then I taped my paper on a piece of cardboard so it's fixed and I can still move it around while I'm painting. I use Scotch tape, but I'm not very happy with it. But is there a perfect tape out there? I don't know. Then I sketched my idea with a blue colorase pencil from Prismacolor on my paper, and I already was so inspired. I have to say, this was a very joyful process, and I guess this is one of the best artworks I made in the last months. The reason why I need to do more quality paintings is that I'm planning an exhibition in a while. I will tell you more if I know more about it. And I mostly work in my sketchbooks right now, what is also a good thing. I love to work in my sketchbook, but all my good artworks in them are hard to show in an exhibition and also hard to sell them. I have a ton of ideas in my head what I will paint in the next weeks. Perhaps you are also interested in the preparations for an exhibition, all the to-dos, and yeah, I can take you with me if you would like to see content like this, or I could give you little updates in my videos here and there. Oh, and look at this box. I got my hands on one of 500 brush sets from Sarah Burns, which were sold out in the first 24 hours. I'm so happy I got one of them. I love Sarah's art so much. These beautiful landscapes of Scottish places where she lives. And I love her videos. And her knowledge for colors and paints is amazing. I will link her channel in my info box, of course. Included in this box is a wonderful art print, a pencil case, which has also this motif printed on it. And of course the brushes. 8 travel brushes for watercolor and gouache. And these brushes are special. Look at them. You get 3 round brushes, a filbert and a normal flat brush. which is also kind of soft. And then you get these 3 flat brushes with very long hair. I've never seen brushes like this before, and I can't wait to try them out. Today I will paint my piece of art with Sarah's brushes, so let's do this. I started with my first layer and used the filbert because it's the biggest brush in the set. For a wash like this, I would normally use a much more bigger brush, but I wanted to test Sarah's brushes, so I used the filbert. I picked my Roman Szmal paints. I painted with olive green, light ocean blue, Payne's gray, Perilyn violet and Quin red in this whole artwork. Also later in the next layers. I like to start with a lighter layer of color so I can give everything more color direction, and it's easier for me to start and get in my flow. And I enjoy all the little happy accidents you get with the watercolors. If you make washes like this, you can't really plan how the colors exactly flow together into each other and which patterns they create. I also think that starting with a layer of color gives my paintings more depth and life. Now I'm adding more and more color here and there while the paper is still wet. I try to spare out the character and plants. Then it's time to let it dry completely. In between, I have to try all of the other brushes. I have to say I like them a lot in the end, and I definitely have to use them in my daily practice a lot more to know how I can use them in the best way in my work. Especially these long flat brushes are very interesting and very special and wonderful. I guess I will use them more in my gouache paintings, but I don't know yet. The very thin one is such a good liner brush, and the round brushes are so good. I will use them a lot. Also the short flat one is like a very good flat gouache brush. I love it. It's so good to have them all as travel brushes. I've never seen a set of travel brushes like this. So back to my painting. In this next step, I'm bringing the foreground in the front and painting all the clover plants, which are more in the background, more dark. We will build up the depth step by step from now on. Of course, the character is in the foreground and most of the bigger clover plants as well, also a few of their blossoms. This process is my favorite one to see how the painting gets its special vibe more and more. Working with watercolors in a way like this takes always a bit more time. You always have to wait in between until the layers dry completely before you can add the next layer on top and so on. And here it's important to have a good paper which takes a lot of water and takes a lot of layers. As I said in the beginning, I'm using Arrtx paper for the first time, and I have to say it's a 10 out of 10. It has 100% cotton. I love to work on cotton paper. There are more good cotton papers on the market, also a few which are not as pricey. But I have to say I never used a hot pressed cotton paper, especially a hot pressed one, which was as good as this one. On hot pressed paper, the colors could look a bit more blotchy here and there, but here the transition between the colors are more soft on the Arrtx paper. I'm impressed and happy, and perhaps I have to buy a block of it. I have to think about this. I have a lot of paper here in my drawer. I have to compare my cotton papers, which I already have someday, especially my hot pressed ones. I have not a lot, but I think this would help me in the future. Then I painted shadings on my foreground plants. They will stay in the very light background color green I started with. A few of them are more behind the others, so they get a soft wash of color on top. Then it's time to define the blossoms in the foreground with a mix out of Perylane Violet and Quin Red. Step by step, I paint the background more darker to bring out the clover plants, which are more in the back, so my painting gets more and more depth. This technique is very easy, and it makes a big difference to play with the lighter and darker layers. Tell me if I should do a watercolor tutorial for this technique. I thought about an easy, cute motif and a step-by-step tutorial where you can following me along to practice this for yourself if you like. Please tell me in the comments if you would like to watch a video like this. I rarely make tutorials on this channel because I'm not sure if you would enjoy content like this. Our creature has a few bug friends. Right now, I almost daily see a ladybug here and there. They wake up out of their winter sleep. I think you know this if a ladybug lands on you and always crawls on the highest point of your body or your hand or your arm and finger, and then it opens its wings and flies away in direction of the sun. I love this. This is so cute. And this is what happens here in this picture. One of the ladybugs flies away towards new wonderful adventures. After everything dried completely, I'm using colored pencils on top. I picked a few polychromos from Faber-Castell, also a yellow Caran Luminance, and the white Derwent drawing, which is the softest, whitest white I have. Then I do the same again, making the backgrounds darker, shadings for the plants, and bring out more and more clover leaves in the very back to create even more depth, rendering the plants and the blossoms, also our friend here, and the bugs, of course. They get a few dots and little legs and tentacles. I love this piece in the end. It was so much fun working on it. I'm thinking about making prints from this artwork, but there is no shop yet, sadly. I'm struggling a lot right now with the things I want to do. Like, there are 3 big to-dos, like the shop, which isn't easy, not because of the products I want to offer, more because of the logistic. The shipping costs are huge to ship to overseas countries, so I have to think about this. And I have to dive more into this print on demand thing. Yeah, this is holding me back a bit. I want to have the shipping for you affordable, so I have to plan it a bit more. The second thing, which is more easy, I think, to implement, is a new Patreon tier where you can get monthly printable downloads or actual mini prints or stickers, which I send to you. And then there is this other third thing. I have to work on a portfolio again for book publishers. I worked as a free illustrator before I had kids. It's time to get back to this, but a good portfolio takes time. Everything takes time. That's why I'm struggling right now to decide which is the most important of these 3 things and then where to begin. Sometimes decisions like this are holding me back too much, and I'm a master in procrastination. However, I will find my way through this. I will hold you up to date, of course. The artwork is almost finished. I hope you enjoyed watching. Please don't forget to like this video, also subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you so much for your support. Also a huge thank you to my wonderful patrons. You are amazing. Then let's have a look at the close-ups together and have an awesome week, my friends. See you next time. Yours Xunani.